Hello there! So this is an illustration I am working on for my own personal website. This website will be launched in about the next month or so. There will be a video showing it and letting y'all know about it. However, the inspiration behind this illustration is quite simple. It's just an elevated workspace inspired by what my own workspace kind of looks like right now. Just a bit elevated and given some more aesthetic touches, if you will. But yeah, this was honestly really fun to do. I always like doing interior illustrations and room illustrations, giving a character some aesthetic grounding and inspiration to kind of show you what the character is like and give you more environmental information on a character. I always think that's fun to see, like, yeah, you know what a character looks like, but what are they into? What do they like? What would they be like if they were a real person? And I have always loved that, and it's something that I always would do and did gravitate towards in my own personal art when I was growing up, and especially now in my own personal work, working on webcomic and other illustrations. I always like giving the character some, like I said, environmental information to help inform the viewer what that character may be like. So this was really fun to do. I really enjoyed it. It's very cathartic. I was kind of talking about it in my last video, how honestly, since the pandemic started, really in 2020, I took a break from school and I was able to explore and kind of meddle around with different materials and different media to allow myself and give myself access to just artistic creative license and freedom to explore and try different techniques without any sort of deadline or restriction or like assignment, I guess. And it was really cool to let myself kind of explore painting, explore watercolor, explore digital more, and just allow myself to kind of cozy and branch out. Did I say cozy? To cozy up with and branch out into different mediums and just add my own personal creative touch onto how I use them. And I mentioned in the last video too, I was able to return to this style of things using marker and colored pencil. And it just feels like muscle memory at this point. It's something that's very cathartic and very soothing for me. Really pleases your inner child too. At least mine. It feels like home, it's very comfortable, and I don't really have to think about what I'm doing, really. I just kind of let myself go on creative autopilot, and whatever comes out, comes out. And it's like meditation in a way, and I really enjoy it. I just want to touch on another little thing too, is this is just kind of my own opinion, but also it's important, and I feel like important to mention. If there are people that you enjoy that are creators and creatives, no matter what subject or format, I'm specifically going to speak about artists, but if there's artists that you enjoy, people that create, people that are photographers, videographers, poets, no matter what, anything that you'd kind of see in high school that would be considered in the arts department, I really implore you to let those people know that you support them and show your support. Liking a video isn't hard. Liking a post isn't hard. Following isn't hard. Especially in this day and age where the world can be kind of dark and scary. That's putting it very lightly. It's important as people, I think, to kind of come together and show one another that you support them and you support what they're doing and offering up a little bit of love to one another, and I think that's really important and special. So whether it's me or whether it's anybody else that you know, showing that you support them in any ways that you can, in any ways that they provide. Support can be as little as liking a photo on Instagram or on social media or TikTok, or as big as purchasing a piece of art from them. You know, anything like that, I think an artist really appreciates, because art is meant to be viewed, to be honest, and in some ways, in most ways, people who create, I think, create for people to view them, or they create for their own expression, whatever that be. But if it's online, it's meant to be viewed, and I think when an artist sees that people are liking what they do, it inspires them to create more, you know? And it's important and special, and it's not too difficult to do. So yeah, I just felt like mentioning that because creatives work really hard, and it's something that gets easily overlooked in society, I think, sometimes. And I think it's important to let the creatives know that if you support them, that they have your support. You know what I'm saying? But straying away from that a little bit, just touching on maybe some like interesting challenges I found with this illustration. It wasn't something that was too challenging, but it was something that I was thinking about a lot, where I get to a point in the illustration, kind of where I'm finishing it up at the end of this video, where I'm like, when am I done? And that's something I've been learning with myself with art, is when am I done? When is the illustration complete? When is the artwork finished? When is it at the best it's going to be? Because there is a thing in the art world where you can like overwork something and overdo it. I think that can be in any way, where you can kind of overdo something, and that's something I am working on with my art a little bit, is when am I done? When is this piece complete? And being really mindful about that when I'm working. And that's something I'm getting really in tune with my art lately, and even through this piece I'm like, okay, when is it complete? And being mindful about I'm someone who loves shading, and I love adding lighting and color and hue. Like you see, I'm adding like purple for shadows, and it's like, do I keep it to one tone of purple in the shadows, or do I do multiple? And I'm trying to keep in mind the overall cohesion of the piece, where it's like, okay, how did I shade other things? Let me keep it in the same vein. So where it's like, if something is shaded in a way that's kind of cell shading, let me make sure that's congruent and even throughout the whole piece, where something isn't, or because it would look interesting in other contexts, but for me it's like, if something looks rendered and then you have something right next to it that's cell shaded, I want everything to look cohesive, and in this situation it would kind of look like they're part of two different worlds. So with this, I was really keeping in mind that blend of rendering and cell shading, and making sure everything looked seamless and like it belonged together. So yeah, I'm done on my little spiel. If you're interested in seeing this on Instagram, link is in the description. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Make sure you're taking space for yourself when you need it.